Welcome back to the TRF Fun podcast, where three mates waffle on about Formula One. Today I'm your host, ABD, joined by Ham and Shaq. Today's
Hi
episode
guys.
is about Las Vegas preview. So we had an amazing race. Almost felt like rolling back a few years with the Mercedes dominance in the race. How did you boys enjoy it? Shaq?
Oh, well, surprising, right? It was pretty shocking that Mercedes suddenly had a such a good race that they were so clear ahead of everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was not expected, right?
yeah. And Hamdan, did you enjoy the drive from Hamilton?
Well, you've seen us. We were all there together watching the race. Yeah, the comeback from P10 to P2. Honestly, I did not expect that to happen. I was expecting him to finish somewhere between P5 and P6, maximum P4, nowhere above, nowhere below that. But then P2 was honestly, I couldn't imagine that happening.
Yeah.
And it was a huge drive by Lewis and the race. Like you've seen every overtake, we were like jumping around because we were not expecting Mercedes to perform so well
Yeah.
until we started seeing the free practice and everything, and we knew, free practice and everything. Mercedes always does something and they go down, but this time they were consistent and purely a joy. And yes, I did enjoy that.
Yeah, he was just pulling out fast lap after fast lap in that second stint after the pit stop. So yeah, amazing drive from Mercedes, both drivers, I think. We had few things. So we had a lot of overtakes. We had Mercedes dominance. We had a world champion. So I just want to ask you guys, like, how do you rate the race out of 10? Hamdan, let's go with you.
I'm gonna go for an 8. 4 plus 4, 8.
Yep, 4 plus 4, 8. Nice. Yeah, and Shaq, you?
I'm going for a 7.
Yeah.
Um, just because pretty much the only thing that I have to complain about Hamilton was starting from P10, because otherwise we could have seen Mercedes have a battle and someone could have fought for the win apart from just George.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I've gone for an 8 as well, so it's 6 plus 3 minus 1. George Russell. So
No, no. If you think about it, Shaq, if Hamilton had not started from P10, had he not gone through each and every one, you've seen the overtake with Verstappen, you've seen the overtake with Perez, you've seen the overtake with Norris. Hadn't we not seen that way, I don't think it would have been this interesting for us. Yeah, totally.
Oh,
Hamilton being P10 is a bad thing. Starting P10 when he had a real dominant car throughout the practice and qualifying. But qualifying on the Q3, P10 is a bad thing. But then the the whole thing was more interesting when it was like a slingshot, boom,
do
and he
you
just went
think
ahead.
yeah, yeah.
do you think Hamilton would have won if if he had qualified top three?
Yeah,
Easily.
I think I said it during the race. If Hamilton was top three, he would have won by 25 seconds.
And I would have got 2 points for my top three then. I had
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you did it. So
That's why I predicted things. I got him for P2 and he was P2.
yeah,
you knew he was gonna mess up in
Yeah,
Q3
yeah,
again.
I knew he was gonna mess up in Q3, and I knew he was gonna come to P2, but I know he was gonna mess up so badly.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I think he was on a mission last weekend. Unfortunately, qualifying didn't work out, but a lot of rumors about, Hamilton being washed out. He have a shelf life. He's in all of those comments sort of was put to bed after that performance.
Honestly,
Yeah,
it was a redemption drive for him after Brazil.
Yep.
He had one of the worst drives in his career. He said it out loud, and this was his redemption for that. And the way he drove, it was amazing. Now, like Russell questioned, like Hamilton questioned, we need to know how the Mercedes was so fast. How was
Yep.
it possible?
has to be the cold temperature. It has to be. There's no other explanation right now. There's no other explanation.
I think they've got to put some dry ice inside the airflow, just so that they can be faster throughout the next two
Yeah,
races.
these cooling issues are too much now.
They can have dry ice inside that.
Actually, one thing is like with Hamilton's pace compared to Russell's pace. Obviously, Russell was holding off a bit so he could have tires and stuff. With Hamilton, the way he was chasing him down, like it just shows that he's not washed. If
Yeah,
you give him a good car, you're gonna see Hamilton
Absolutely.
really absolutely maximize it, right? Like if you give him at least something of a good car, he will maximize it. Just like, other champions like Verstappen and Alonso and all these people. So to the haters, don't forget Lewis is still there to
And he's
fight.
wearing a
And
Mercedes.
I'm wearing the hat. And I'm wearing a hat. This is a Lewis hat, by the way.
I've got Lewis
Yeah,
behind me, so yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
I think we have a clear best drive
yeah.
from all our three comments just now about Hamilton. So I've gone for Hamilton best drive, and I believe you boys have done the same.
Yep, easily,
Yeah.
easily.
I do have a little shout out though. Little
Okay.
shout out. Not the best drive, but Joe Guan Yu at Sauber did not belong anywhere near the points, and he was there for like half the race. So
Yeah,
you got to
That's
give that to him. You
was a
got to
good.
Yeah,
give that to him.
that is true. That is true. He's
Yeah.
stuck onto it too well. Unfortunately, we could have seen another beautiful drive by Gasly, but then he had to come out.
Yeah, what a
That
qualifying.
would have,
Yeah,
yeah, if we could have seen something, he would have done something. You guys know how good Gasly is.
Yeah.
Uh, he should definitely get another chance back at the major seats as well, just so that
Yes, yes, definitely.
prove to the world that he is also worthy of winning.
yeah, just
Yeah.
Unfortunate, but
unbelievable.
then
Yeah,
yeah, that's what happened.
just unbelievable. Like, how could he put that car in P3 in qualifying? It's just
What a prediction, by the way.
you
What a
know,
prediction.
Zach
A
predicted it.
crazy prediction, crazy
Crazy
prediction.
prediction. Should get a point for that.
Zach predicted P3 in qualifying, so that
You
was
get a
Uh,
point. You get you get the what do you call it? The preview point for that. Preview
the
review point.
qualifying points. Yeah, the qualifying points.
yeah.
That only happens inside the video for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
The preview point that no one cares about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I care about it. I got it. I don't know about you guys.
We
Cool.
care about it. Don't worry. We care about it. We let the world know. But it's not gonna add up into the points table though.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's fair.
All right, so the worst drive. I've gone for Lawson. He was nowhere near Tsunoda. If he want any chance at the Red Bull seat next year or the year after, he got at least finish near Tsunoda or beat him, but that hasn't happened this race. So I've put Lawson for my worst drive. How about you, Hamdan?
I've gone for Oncon there, guys. Like he was, I don't know what he did. He had I would say he had a okayish qualifying. He had a shot for the points during the race. So, but then I don't know what happened to him. He was right above Bottas. He was almost last. So, which was a big, what do you call it? Uh, I would say mistake done by Oncon, to be honest, completely, because uh, we have an unfortunate incident for Gasly. He had a mechanical issue. He was out of the race, where the team could have scored mega points for the team for the race. But then since he had to go out, the next opportunity was Oncon. He was very much close to the points, but then he wasn't able to cut it. So Oncon is the worst drive I would consider for this weekend, to be honest.
Yeah, he qualified 11th, I think, and finished 17th. So that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's
That's
a very
probably
bad way.
one
No,
of the
that
worst
is
ones.
after two DNFs as well.
True. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And Shaq, how about you?
Well, we've already talked about this behind the scenes, but Oscar Piastri was not good at all, in my opinion. Um, yeah, it was just slow. Like the mistake at the start, like I don't know, he was just not there at all, really. Like doesn't need to. Don't have really much to say about that. Just yeah, far behind Norris and could have easily done better, I think.
Yeah, I think we talked about this in our race prediction video as well. Like Oscar has to perform, otherwise he's going to end up being that second driver at McLaren, and
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true. That's
that
true,
sort
So
of
actually.
proved.
I hope he doesn't turn out to be a Perez.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
almost,
that was the problem. Yeah,
for me, he almost looked like Bottas when he was in Mercedes, like just 10 seconds behind Hamilton and just relaxing there. So that's what I
yeah,
felt after seeing
yeah,
the race.
Honestly, Bottas used to relax when he is like P2 or something, 10 seconds behind Hamilton, but still P2.
Yeah,
yeah,
true.
Obviously, Bottas did have his fair share of uh was bad drives and everything, but then we could see him in the top five or top three finishing by the end of the race, and
yeah,
he was a title contender as well, numerous seasons. So
Yeah,
5 7 second laid back racing, yeah, sure, but then you gotta be up in the ranking there
yeah,
to get completely like a boat has there.
yeah. Cool. All right. And I think the next one is best team. I think we are also aligned on this one. Dominance from Mercedes. It looked almost like 2020 or 2019 when they were the
yeah.
best cars just leading away. So it almost felt
And
exactly the same.
hands down, hands down. A beautiful drive. I love the way how the team actually had a strategy for both Russell and Hamilton, even though they did kind of had an argument with Hamilton for the timing he pit. But then I think Mercedes did a really good call pitting him during that time, because if he had not pitted, he would have at least, like they said, he would have at least gone drop down another 5 positions.
Yep.
So I think they did a beautiful job in the strategy. Beautiful, what do you call, lead by Russell, where he was easily able to pit right behind Hamilton and get back into the lead as soon as possible. So beautiful race by the whole Mercedes team. Got to give it to Russell for the amazing lead that he's got, and Hamilton for the amazing drive. So hands down, Mercedes being the best team of this weekend.
Yep. Jack, you echo that as well?
Yeah, nothing much to add really. Just George Pole, like that kind of sealed everything off. Like he didn't have any challenge, right?
Yeah.
He didn't get overtaken once, and he didn't have to fight anyone either because that he clearly made use of the fast car. So yeah, like you said, strategy, everything good for Mercedes. Really, nothing
The
to
only
complain about.
the only thing I would like to add to this is Mercedes has not been consistent with this kind of wins, They've always they've always been a one-shot wonder, I feel. So couple
Yeah,
of races in, they become the they show that they're dominant and they go back again. A couple of races back, they're back again. So I felt that if once Mercedes gets back into its consistency and everything, back into the dominance level, then we could actually find it you know hard that other teams will be fighting over Mercedes to get the win.
Yep.
So that's the only downside of Mercedes in the throughout the season, I feel. So for two
Yeah.
more races, let's hope that they
yeah,
be faster like how they were in Vegas. So just gotta wait and see.
Yeah.
yeah. That's the thing is they don't want to fall. They should be careful. They don't want to fall too far behind because next year, if they have a problem and they focus maybe too much on 2026, they might go even further back, and maybe teams like Aston or Alpine could overtake them. And they have to be like careful and cautious about not letting that happen. Because obviously, right now, it doesn't look like they'll be too close to McLaren, Ferrari, and probably even Red Bull next year. So
I
the
totally agree.
inconsistency is worrying.
But then Shaq, like you said, uh, I don't think that they're gonna be really close. But then the race that happened in Vegas that
Yeah,
showed that how powerful the car actually is. If they figure out what they did and how they did it. If they provide a car like this next year throughout the season, I hardly think either of the top teams that are there currently will be a match for them. I don't
And
think
that's the
so.
problem is like this car that we're talking about obviously was great in Las Vegas, but the problem is it's not consistent. So that even if they have this car and they go to Vegas next year, they can do well, but then they would probably struggle in other tracks like Brazil, like they did last
No,
weekend and stuff.
they have
So
to be consistent. They've got to improve. They've got to
no, so
the
that's what
same
I'm saying. Yeah,
exactly the same pace
yeah,
throughout the season next year. I think even Hamilton, who's gone to Ferrari, would probably would double think about his choices moving to Ferrari if Mercedes
We're
becomes
performing.
stronger.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, we expected a lot from them after 2021 ended and 2022 started, and it's not been great
Been
so
a
far as a
downfall.
car.
Been a
Yeah, it's
downfall.
been a bit of a downfall.
But then 2023, I thought it was a comeback. I don't know. They were stronger, but then 2024 again, they went down by like two teams again. But then
Yeah, that's true.
McLaren was quick throughout this.
Yeah, that's true.
Their upbringing was from last year, and the initial couple of races they were down, but then they caught up again. So you guys remember the race where Norris was actually hunting down Verstappen.
yeah,
Yeah. So yeah.
yeah.
So
Talking
yeah.
about talking about McLaren, I have just updated my worst team. I had like Williams, I think, before this, but I've just updated to McLaren. I think McLaren had a really poor race. They got beaten by Ferrari, they got beaten by Max, and also Mercedes. I don't know what's going on with them. There was some rumors around FIA banning the cooling system on the tires. I don't know if that has sort of impacted them, but yeah, I've gone for McLaren for worst team for this race. How about you, Haim?
I've gone for Alpine. Honestly, not because of Gasly not performing. It's basically how the team performed the whole weekend. After a great qualifying, after Gasly was out within a couple, I don't know, like 10 laps or something, 10 or 15 laps. I
Yeah,
do not.
yeah,
Then especially with Ocon's performance with from where he started, where he ended. So that led to a major downfall in their whole what do you call it point system, where they were actually ahead of both Haas and
Yeah, after Brazil. Yeah.
Pickup. Yep.
yeah, yeah,
The two and three will actually help them out, but then due to this, they've actually lost positions. They have actually gone down by a couple of points with
Behind
Haas.
hand.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
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 they're behind Haas right now by 2 points, 2 points, and so I'm giving Alpine. I think Shaq also
yeah, yeah.
agrees
I
the
had
same.
Alpine as well.
Yep.
Alpine, Gasly DNF, like he was like the only like good like sort of
Yeah, I
potential they
honestly
had.
like. Yeah, I honestly didn't
Um,
expect that there's gonna be a mechanical issue with the car. Like that was the
yeah,
least.
I thought he was easily going to get points. You know, starting from third, he can only go back so far
Yeah.
from there, and yeah, the car just like bailing out on him, engine failure, then Ocon just pretty much the worst race possible after Brazil, which is probably his best race in a long time. So yeah, like Alpine just not great at all, are they?
Yeah. Yeah. Alpine hasn't performed compared to what they did in Brazil. I think that'll be hard to beat for them this season or next season as well.
Yeah, the next 10 years.
We'll see. They're going to Mercedes engine, so we never know. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
all right, cool. So now, there was a lot of other incidents that happened in the race. There was a crazy radio conversation between Leclerc and his engineer about
yeah.
what.
By
Let's
telling
talk
him in
about
Spanish.
Ferrari. Let's
Try
talk
telling him in
about
Spanish.
Ferrari.
Try telling him in Spanish.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was a bit of an outburst
Yeah,
from Leclerc. Sainz, as usual, stayed calm, I think, in the whole scenario. Maybe he shouldn't have overtaken Leclerc. That's another story, but.
Yeah.
No, come on. Yeah, I think Leclerc was coming out of the pits, and Sainz had overtook him during that time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was the pit exit where Leclerc was, and it was Sainz. So what do you expect? Sainz to slow down and wait for Leclerc to pass?
Yeah, and the
Yeah, I don't
He,
really know what
the
Ferrari's
thing is,
thinking there. Yeah.
the thing is, there are a couple of things. Like the major thing, he is not a title contender anymore. He's not a driver. He's not gonna be. He's not be gonna be getting a driver championship. That's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only thing the team has to be worried about is the constructors. Doesn't matter whether Leclerc is second, I mean third or fourth or anywhere it is.
but I tend to disagree with this. So after the race, one of the things that Leclerc mentioned is he really won that P2. And actually, if you look at the numbers, he's not far behind Norris. It's pretty close actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty close. So I
What's the
think
point
that,
difference between them?
let me tell you,
Yeah. It's 21
it's
points
21. It's only
between
21
Norris and
points.
Ferrari, so that's like a win-ish,
Yeah,
like with points. So
I think
pretty
so.
close.
That's what he's been trying to hunt down then.
Yes, correct, correct. Yeah.
yeah. But the thing is, like what Ham's saying, like it doesn't matter. P2 doesn't matter. Like drivers' championship, the only thing that matters is first place. With
Exactly.
constructors, it's different.
I
So
think I think that's a good segue, and everyone who's watching might be wondering why we haven't talked about it. We have a new world champion for 2024.
new, it's not new world champion,
I,
is it?
I think we should
But
have started. I think we should have gone and started with that.
Yeah, we probably should have
I,
started with that.
no, no, I kept
Max
it for the
Verstappen is the world
Max
champion.
Verstappen,
I
fourth
kept
time,
I
fourth
okay.
Fourth time in
time.
a row.
Let me
The
explain
fourth
myself.
driver to do
Let me
four
explain.
in a row.
I kept it for the end because we are going to do a separate video just about Max's championship. What an amazing run he has had this year.
It
Um,
was a tough run.
first
And all
half,
the previous years as well. Like,
yeah, and but this time a bit more competition. The first half was much more one-sided, but the second half he really had to fight for it. And we
He
are
won a
going to
race after 10 races.
exactly. So
Brazil.
yeah, what a driver. He's becoming a beast on his own. Like it's going to be pretty hard for anyone to beat him. I think if he has a good car.
I have a question, actually.
Okay.
Where does he rank in your top drivers of all time?
Right now, third.
Yeah. Third?
Yep,
So who's above Max Verstappen right now?
Michael Schumacher,
Yeah.
and above him I got Lewis Hamilton.
Okay.
That's my top
And what
three.
about what about you, Ham? Who do you think? Where does Verstappen rank?
Hmm, I would say fourth.
Fourth? Yeah.
Third, it's debatable. So again, like I'm gonna be following ABD on that. I've got Hamilton first. I've got Schumacher second. So it's between Senna and Verstappen. But then again, it's debatable. But then I still have Vettel on the other hand, who deserves the same recognition that's supposed to be. So I'm gonna ask you a question, you guys. I'm gonna ask you a question. This was the question asked to Alonso. I'm gonna ask you guys. Was Sebastian Vettel's four-time world championship winning the same as Max Verstappen winning four times in a Red Bull? Which would you think is better?
Verstappen.
I think it's Verstappen.
Easily. I think
Yeah.
easily Verstappen.
Easily Verstappen,
I
yeah.
think I think back then Alonso was the one with the bad car, and he was somehow magically keeping up with Vettel. This time, Norris is the one with the good car, and Verstappen's the one keeping up, and he built enough of a gap over the first part of the season. And that's why he's the champion now. And even in this race, he's finished ahead of Norris by quite a good margin. So, yeah, I don't think
Why?
Agreed.
Vettel was
I
as good
Yeah.
as
you guys
Verstappen.
Why I have
agree.
rated, sorry, why I have rated Max more than Vettel is how Max has destroyed all his teammates.
Yeah, exactly.
If you look at Vettel's era of championships, you will notice like Mark Webber, his teammate at the time, had a lot of close races with him. It was a dominant car. Again, Adrian Newey car. It was dominant at the time, but his teammates were very close to where Vettel used to finish. But in case of Verstappen, he's just beating every teammate, out of the park, really. So that's the reason why I rate him more than Vettel.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
one more thing is like last year was just something else. Like the most dominant season from one driver ever, like easily. He
Uh,
won 19 races out of 22, and he probably could have won, those two Perez had won if he had some
Perez
better
and
luck.
Sainz.
And yeah, Singapore was the only one where he didn't have a car to actually be able to win, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think like last year was just like a big stamp on how good he was. Like that was when I really was like, yeah, this guy is something like to really watch out for because like you have to respect how good he is. He's driving, always driving, like he's driving on F1 like in real life, and then when he goes home and he's playing racing games at night with his friends, like he
You
lives
guys,
and breathes
think,
this sport, right?
exactly. Like I totally agree with Shaq. He is on F1. Like Shaq said, he's breathing F1 on and off the pitch. He goes home,
Yeah.
he's in a sim and practicing or racing with his friends. So which basically means he is practicing all the circuits, I don't know, a couple of hundred
In
times.
in his own time, yeah. He
You
doesn't have
know,
to do it. Like
he
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 has separate thing for that. Yeah.
yeah, he even made Hamilton go on sim in the 2021. See, if you remember, like Hamilton never used to drive on sims before that, as much as other drivers used to. But since 2021, he changed that. So that's a sign of someone, someone great he's battling against. So yeah.
Yeah, like you
I
have
know,
to
but I
respect
have a
that. Yeah.
feeling I have a feeling Hamilton started that in 2020 during COVID because he's got nothing to do. He's like he
That's a good
misses
point. Yep, that's a good point.
probably 2020, but then 2021 it came out because Verstappen has been always a fan of sim, so probably that
Yeah,
led to
yeah.
it. But then
But no one's ever pushed Hamilton like the way Verstappen did
yeah,
that year.
exactly.
Like that year alone, like I've never seen Hamilton so like up against the wall. Like that
Yep.
was such a good battle, and it was such like it spoiled us, didn't it? Like 2022, 2023
It
really
left a
felt like
mark
such
on
a
us. It left a
it
mark
felt
on
like
us.
such a downfall for F1, but like like that's how the sport is, teams dominate and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly. We got to witness one of the best drivers in the F1 history because of that. So
yeah,
let's hope Max keeps winning because I don't mind even Max winning his fifth title next year because he deserves it. But then we would like to see a close knit battle like this next year, so that
Yep.
it's
yeah, yeah.
'cause last year it was
Like
like
yeah,
really
yeah,
dominant.
yeah. Like let's be honest. Like I
Like
respect
we need
Max,
we
but
need some we need
I want a new winner. Let's be real.
I see, we need a
I want a
new
new
winner.
championship winner.
We need a new champion. We need a new winner. But then winning after a tough battle with some of the drivers, uh, that I could appreciate. But getting dominant throughout the season, it's kind of boring to watch F1 after that.
But you still have to like appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, we do have to appreciate it. Got to
Yeah,
give it to him for having the whole
yeah,
race like that.
yeah.
Great. I know probably let's not give away
Let's not dive into it too much. Yeah,
all our chat about Max right now because we're going to do a separate video on that. But I think Las Vegas was a great Grand Prix. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Hopefully, we can get to see a similar race in Qatar and Abu Dhabi. Two more races to go. We'll be back with a Qatar predictions video soon. Until then, bye.
bye bye.
Bye, guys.